Hey everyone, welcome back to ByrdFeed. Today I want to talk children's sizing for clothing, underwear, socks, and shoes as it relates to packing Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes by designated age range. 2 to 4-year-olds, 5 to 9s, and 10 to 14s. I've had several viewers quiz me about sizing in the past, and last year one of my viewers asked if I would do a video on sizing. So here we go, Stacy. I hope you're watching. Now, I don't know about other countries' sizing, but here in the US, I find children's sizing to be quite a bit confusing. Just as an example, a 9-year-old boy can wear a boy's size large t-shirt, a small in boys' underwear, and a medium in boys' socks. Crazy, right? Then we have sizes like 4T and 5T. Well, what's the difference between that and a youth 4 and 5? I know many of you know the difference, particularly if you have kids or grandkids, but some of you don't have kids, or it's been a while and you're just not certain anymore. So hopefully this video will be helpful for you. Now, you're probably going to hear me refer to my grandkids a lot. They are now ages 5 and 8, but they have been a lifeline for me while packing OCC shoeboxes these last 4 or 5 years. I use them as my guide. So I've put together a sizing guide for packing OCC shoeboxes by designated age range, and I've made it a printable chart for you in Google Sheets, so you can print it out and take it with you when you shop. It's an example of the sizes I focus on for OCC shoeboxes, so it's just a guide, and it's based on the philosophy of purchasing clothing to fit the oldest child in the OCC age range. The thought process behind that is that clothing provided for the oldest child in the age range offers the best chance of fitting all the kids receiving that box, even if it's a bit oversized. It's much easier to wear clothing oversized than it is if it's too small. Again, it's just a guide, as truly all children's sizes have a special place in Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes. I wanted to show you some differences, particularly in toddler versus the regular size clothing. For those of you who may not know, the T for toddler size, like a 4T versus a size 4, means that it's typically a little bit shorter and a little bit wider to allow for room for a diaper. So that's the main difference. This is a 4T. Now, these are all different brands, which is another thing. Sizing really varies by brand. All kids are different sizes. Some are bigger than others. So this is based on the 50th percentile of the average size of, say, a 4-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 14-year-old. The pink is a 4T, and the gray is a 4/5. So they are about the same width, but it's definitely a little bit longer. Let's try the 4T against the 5T. This is a Garanimals, and this is Children's Place. The 5T is Children's Place. So again, it's a little bit broader in the shoulders for the 5T, and it's a little bit wider and a little bit longer. So far the 4T looks almost to be the smallest in the size ranges, but that does not always hold true. Sometimes the 4s seem smaller than the 4Ts because they're going to be a little bit narrower, even though they're a little bit longer. So let's hold the gray, which is the 4/5, up against the 4T. And as expected, the 4/5 is a little bit narrower, but it's really no longer. just a smidge because of that shirt tail hem, I think. And the shoulders are about the same. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of those sizes. My youngest grandson is now 5, and he wears a size 5 or a size 6. Then in some shorts, this is a 5T. This denim one is a size 4, and the waist is bigger and the hips are wider, which you would expect in a toddler size. This one is not a toddler size, but they're close enough. Look for the ones with the elastic waists, and it'll fit more kids. That's a girl's. This is a boy's. So we have a 4T and what is this? A 4. They're basically the same, or almost exactly the same. One's a 4 and one's a 4T. And then in the boys' t-shirts, similar. This is 4 years. This one's a 4T. They are about the same length. The 4T is not really even much wider, I don't think. And this one is Gap, whereas the black one is Garanimals. And then let's hold the 4 up against the 5T, which you can tell is definitely a little bit bigger, but not by much. Let's hold the Garanimals up against, and both of these are Garanimals now. One's a 4T and one's a 5T. The black is the 4T, the orange is the 5T. It's not a whole lot of difference, so personally I go with the larger ones when they're available. Now underwear for toddlers is pretty easy. This one's a 4T, and they have the weights on the back, and then this one's a size 4 and this one's a 4. It's called extra small 4, Fruit of the Loom, and then this one's size 4. So for size 4, the weight is 30 to 38 pounds, and this one, the weight is 34 to 43 pounds, and the weight of the 4 toddler, 33 to 38. And the chart, a 4-year-old average weight is 40 pounds and 40 inches tall. My 5-year-old grandson is now 42 pounds. He just turned 5 in December. So with underwear, I find the best thing to do is go by average weight across the board in all sizes. That's why I've included average weight by age on the chart for you. Now in socks, the sock size is the shoe size. This one says it's a small 6 to 10.5. 10 to 11 is the shoe size that I strive for a toddler. So this would fit a toddler. Now this one is a small 4.5 to 8.5 size shoe. So you would think if I strive for a 10 or an 11 that this would be too small. And these are both Fruit of the Loom. Yet this one, which says it only goes up to 8.5 shoe size, is bigger than this one. By a little bit, not by a lot, but it's a little bit bigger. So this one that says it goes up to a 10.5 is a little bit smaller than this one that says it goes up to an 8.5. The boy socks are similar. This one happens to be a 2 to 4 toddler. And this one is a 4.5 to 8.5. But this fits my grandson fine, and he's 5. And there's the difference between the one that goes up to 4T and the 4.5 to 8.5. So you would think that the 8.5 would be too small, since these go by shoe size, And the shoes, that would be for average sizing for a 4-year-old is 10 to 11. That's the most common. It's not 9, 10, 11, 12, but 10, 11 are what I focus on, those sizes in the middle. And then this Umbro is also 4.5 to 8.5, and it's a little bit bigger than the Fruit of the Loom. So it's kind of crazy. Then this one is actually a medium, 9.5 to 2.5. And let's see the difference between that Umbro and this one is really the same size. So yeah, you guys, socks are kind of crazy. Just look at them and do your best guess. You could see, I would put this in a toddler shoebox over a 5 to 9. This will fit a 5 or 6-year-old. Getting up to 8 or 9 years old, it might be a little small. I don't know, they're really stretchy too. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. Okay, in the 5 to 9 age range, I concentrate on a large 10 to 12. I used to buy mediums, which is a size 8. I was always torn between whether I should do medium 8 or large 10 to 12. The medium 8, it really fits a 7 to 8-year-old best. That said, I do have some size 8s that are going into shoeboxes this year, and I'm just going to pray that it goes to a child that it will fit. For instance, I don't have any 8s in the girls. I have all large 10 to 12. But let's see, my oldest grandson is 8, and he wears an 8 or a 10 already. By the time he's 9, I don't think those 8s are going to fit him any longer. For instance, this Gildan brand t-shirt is a youth large, which is a 10-12. And the gray one is from Old Navy. And it's quite a bit different. I bought it online. And when I got it, I wanted to change it for a 10-12, but they didn't have the 10-12 anymore. So I've got a couple of 8s. Now if this goes to a 5-year-old, because my youngest is 5, my youngest grandson is 5, this would fit him. This would be a little bit on the large side for him, but not by too much, because they wear them. They wear them big. They like to wear them big. My 8-year-old grandson, I think this would be small on. It would fit him now, but he wouldn't wear it because it wouldn't fit him the way he likes to wear them. So that's why I say the size large 10-12 is what I lean toward. Now for the underwear, I go based on average weight. So a 9-year-old girl the average weight is 62 to 64 pounds, and a boy similar, 63 pounds. So that would be a size 8 for a 5 to 9-year-old. So that's what I focus on for the 5 to 9-year-olds. Now socks can come again in different sizes. This is that medium 9 to 2.5 again. I honestly think, like for instance, look at the difference in some of these. This is the same pack, and these white ones are definitely smaller than these gray ones. The gray ones I think are fine for a 5 to 9 box. These white ones I'll put in a toddler box. I just have to look at them all. I don't know why they're all different sizes. But my favorite size for a 5 to 9-year-old is a medium 10.5 to 4. This happens to be a large 3 to 9. I didn't have any medium 10.5 to 4s for the boys. But the large 3 to 9 also works for the 5 to 9-year-olds, because the average shoe size that I strive for a 9-year-old is a size 3 or 4. sometimes even a 5. Then in the girls, we've got the medium, 10.5 to 4. Those are my favorites for the 5 to 9 year old. Oh, and I forgot to mention when I had the 5 to 9 examples up here, these are size 3 girls shoe. And my oldest grandson, who is 8, wears a 3 to a 3.5. So that's why I say 3 to 4. Now for the older kids, I look for a 14, 16 for the most part. But in the older kids' sizes, different brands call them different things. And in the chart, I've listed all these sizes that I'm talking about. So you'll have them all written down. Some extra large youth sizes are a 14, 16. Some XXLs are 14, 16, depends on the brand. For girls, that's what I concentrate on, the 14, 16, either an XL or an XXL, depending on, it usually has a number size right next to it in parentheses. Then I've also purchased a ladies extra small in a dress, which is a size 2 to 4. In boys' clothing sizes, similarly, the XL can be a 14, 16, or an XXL would be the 14, 16. And sometimes the XXL is an 18 or an 18, 20. And I have bought 1820s before. They seemed a little large to me. This one is an XXL 18. And I think it's a good size. I think it's fine for a 14-year-old. When you get into the size 20s, not that it would be too big for a 14-year-old, but I also consider the fact that this is going to possibly a 10-year-old. So I also want him to be able to wear it. So the sizes I focus on are the 14, 16s and an 18 for the boys. But like I said, I have bought and would definitely consider buying an 1820. Socks you can buy for this age range in either the kids department or the adult department. So in girls socks, okay, these say girls. I don't know if you can see where it says girls on there. Shoe size large, 4 to 10. And then these are a women's size, 4 to 10. Women's no-show socks, shoe size 4 to 10. So they're basically the same size. I wouldn't say basically, they are the same size, but one is sold as girls and one is sold as women's. So this is the women's sock. Without ripping this package apart, it's the same size as this package of socks. So I've got both of those sizes on the chart. The 10 to 14 boys socks I showed you in the previous clip. You can buy them in the boys department. Boys large, shoe size 3 to 9. The girls I typically see as girl size large, 4 to 10, and the boys I see as boys size large, 3 to 9. Or in a boys sock you can consider men's, and the men's socks I often see the size range on there is also a shoe size from 6 to 12. Shoe sizes for both girl and boy 14-year-olds is an adult size 7 to 9. Typically I focus on a size 7 or 8 if I'm buying shoes for a 14-year-old. But as we all know, it can be much smaller than that or much bigger. It's easier to buy shoes for the smaller age ranges, particularly the toddler, than it is for the larger sizes. But I did put that on the chart for you. This, for instance, is a woman's size medium, 7 to 8 flip-flop. I wear a size 8.5 and this fits me. Girls underwear for size 14, I go for a size 14 or 14/16. Usually they have the pounds on the underwear, just like I showed you with the smaller sizes. For size 14, 96 to 107 pounds, and on the chart, a 14-year-old girl is average 105 pounds. So let's see, the 16 says 108 to 119 pounds. Probably be okay with that as well, but I typically go with the 14 or the 14/16. Now these are a women's size 5 or small. Honestly, I think these are a bit big. If you want to get a women's size, I would go with an extra small if you can find that. I don't know that I've really even seen extra small in ladies' underwear, but as you can see, that is pretty big as compared to a size 14. Let's open this one up. So I have quite a few of these because I bought them on clearance once. I thought it was a great idea, but you know, when I include these in a box, I make sure to include at least 1 or 2 pairs of the size 14. So that's a big difference, you guys. You know, that's what, 4 inches, 5 inches? That's quite a bit bigger. So my personal opinion, my personal feeling, and this is just me, I think the women's size small might be a little bit on the large size. So I'm going to use these up, but I'm going to concentrate on the 14/16s going forward. And if I see a women's extra small for a deal, I would consider buying those. In boys' underwear, I buy the large 14/16, which fits a boy with a weight of 95 to 125 pounds, and an average 14-year-old is 112 pounds. So that is perfect. And then I would also consider a men's small, which is a 28 to 30 waist. The men's underwear doesn't have a weight on the chart that I'm aware of. It's by waist size. So I've attached the guide in the video description below. I've provided 2 links to the document. They are both designed in Google Sheets. The first link is best viewed and printed from your computer, and it'll give you the best full-size document printed in landscape. However, you might have difficulty printing it from your phone, because I did. So I've provided a PDF format that should easily print from your phone, but it'll print the document in portrait, so the chart will be a little bit smaller. Hopefully you won't have any issues and you can print it from one of these links. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye now.